So when you talk about Rev and Reveur, it's pretty obvious that you have a vision in your mind, right? So where does this come from? Is there a certain vision that you want to implement that has come entirely by yourself, or is there somebody in the industry or in Pune or India, even in the world, that you look up to, or you take what you think is nice from here and from here? How does it work? Basically, how the process of, obviously, the business doing well tells you that what is working well or what is not working well, but sometimes you just have to persevere for a while before a product starts doing well, or you just need to
Absolutely.
push it enough. So what I'm trying to ask you is how does Anchal Sabra's mind works when it comes to the business?
I definitely look up to Chef Pooja Dhingra from Law 15. She's grown her business very, very, very strategically and smartly in Bombay, and she has multiple outlets. So that's definitely someone I look up to and kind of try and see, okay, how has she grown her business and opened up so many outlets. So in terms of someone I look up to, it's there. And in terms of my mind and how I work is, I'm always hungry to get my brand to known to more people and try and serve more people. And during COVID, we were one of the only places that was actually open, because I live right above my bakery. It's not the same kitchen, it's not the same floor, but it's very easy to access. And that's when, because we were only 9 months in with the physical store when COVID hit us, so we had to stop complete dine-in and we could not do anything. So when I started taking orders, at that point I had no staff, and I said, okay, let's see how it goes. But at that point we really blossomed because we managed to spread out to the city a lot, and I realized that I'm getting a lot of orders from even the Pimpri Chinchwad area or Bavdan, and I just wanted to try and see how we can reach different people. And that's where I decided post COVID, when things are better, that okay, I think it's time where we have one store that's pretty set. Let's try and explore, let's try and expand. Let's look up to a brand like Law 15, let's look up to a brand like Theobroma that's managed to grow across cities, and try and see how we can take a leaf out of there and try and grow a little bit. And Reveur came along right during lockdown, which was absolutely amazing, because gelato and ice cream has been my dream. But we're trying to grow that baby as well, and get into more physical stores as much as possible.
Where do we go from here? We have Ref Patisserie, we have Reveur, which is a box gelato, the only box gelato in Pune.
Yes.
Are there other box gelatos in the country or in Maharashtra?
Not as per gelato. There's a lot of sorbets that you get and a lot of ice creams, but not gelato as such.
Okay, so where do we go from here? Where do you see, let's say, Rev or Reveur or maybe even another brand 5 or 10 years down the line?
Well, my hope would be to get Reve Patisserie, a couple of other stores across the city, as takeaway points, like how you have a Theobroma or bread stories. That would be my vision for Reve Patisserie. And if I'm not daring to dream too big, maybe even to other cities. And but I would not want to do it on a franchisee model. I would want to do it self-owned, take care of the quality of things. That would be my vision for Reve Patisserie. In terms of Reveur, I would like to go not only buy box gelato, but I would also want to get into scooping. That is vision that I have for Reveur, that you're on a late night drive and you're craving some gelato and it's easily accessible to you by the scoop at any location you want. So that's kind of my vision for the two brands that we have going forward. For me personally, I haven't said this to many people, but I would love to actually write a cookbook and be a published author as well. So that's my vision in the near 5-6 years, I would say, for Reve Patisserie, Reveur, and for me.
So I love how you keep calling your businesses babies.
They
So,
are. You have to grow them and nurture them like you would with your children. How else are they going to actually expand and grow
right.
there?
No, I agree. TCF is my baby too. So what I wanted to ask is, we know your vision for 5 or 10 years down the line. So if I'm interpreting what you're saying correctly, I don't think you ever see yourself stop working, right? You're
I
just
couldn't. I would never be able to work, to sit idle. Ref Patisserie started because I could not sit idle. So when I was doing yoga and getting my back treatment, I was up. I was working out for 3 hours a day with auntie, of course. But apart from that, I was fried. I didn't know what to do with all the extra time I had on my hands.
rather extra
And
energy.
that too. So I started with Ref Patisserie, and I can't sit idle. In fact, I recently got married, like you said, so I took a little break from work for a month. And in between my wedding, so the 1 month flew by because I was wedding planning, so I was occupied. But I had 4 days in between when I got married and when I went for my honeymoon. And I literally went crazy because I hadn't started work at that point, because I said I'll start work when I come back from my honeymoon. And I went absolutely crazy. I could not sit at home doing nothing. And I was just like, I need to get back to work. I need to get back to work. So I flew back, and the next day I was at work where it started full on.
So it's pretty evident, not only to me, to anybody who even talks to you for 5 minutes, that you're very passionate. And this is what has translated into the quality that you have maintained throughout the 7 years of Reve Patisserie and Reveur ice cream. But I'm sure there's a part of you that doesn't want to be too attached, especially emotionally, to a business, right? So do you think that it could maybe be a hindrance, like you mentioned, in expanding to other cities? Because there's one Aanchal Sapra.
Yes.
Unless we get more mini Sapras running around anytime soon, how are you gonna take care of everything and still lead a balanced life, and most importantly, like you keep mentioning, take care of your health?
It's very, very challenging. I think I'm still figuring that aspect out. But a lot of it also comes from hiring the right staff and getting the right help, and understanding that you need to let go of being in the kitchen constantly as well, which is what I am trying to do at the moment.
Would you
I'm-
call it micromanaging, or would you call it
Yeah, it's difficult. It's very difficult to let go for me, especially in our industry, because you have to keep track of quality and things like that. But I think the key is in hiring the right staff and understanding where you can spend on skill and make people feel like they're part of a team and something bigger, rather than saying, you know what, you're replaceable. So I think if we try and get that kind of a culture going in the organization, is where we can see expansion coming in. Because you are only as much as what your team brings as well, which is something that I have learned over the last couple of years, that although I can do everything, I still need a team to help me reach there. And hiring the right people, getting the right kind of work done is what I hope to do to be able to expand.